Hello everyone, hi, how are you guys doing today? Welcome back to another reaction episode to Doctor Who. This is Haarute, my name is Matt. Hello, what's up everyone? Hi, Doctor Who's back. Rather, Doctor Who was back like several months ago. I didn't watch it. This is an episode that came out in Christmas, I believe, 2024. I'm recording this late into March of 2025. This is an episode that came out several months ago. The reason why it took me so long to watch it is because I was super burnt out, and also didn't really feel a need to watch it immediately. I was like, I'm gonna get around it to some point. And I've done this before with like, I don't know, there was an episode during the 13 Doctors era. Also wasn't a great episode. That I also waited like several months to watch it in the lead up to like the next season or like the finale or whatever. And that's precisely what I'm doing now. Because apparently the next season of Doctor Who is coming out in around 15 days. So I need to watch this like ASAP. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm also not a very like festive person. I don't really celebrate Christmas, so like I don't really give a shit about the thematic pull of the episode. I'm just gonna appreciate it as its own episode, even though it's gonna be a Christmassy episode well into March. Doesn't matter to me. Let's just watch it. I'm here for Doctor Who goodness. So yeah, that's the update. Sorry for not watching it before, but hey, I'm gonna try to watch this new season as it's coming out, so that's the trade-off. I'm just getting ready for that because I'm excited for that. Like, I've seen that there's like trailers that came out, like they popped up in like my recommendations, and I was like, I'm not watching that. I kind of want to watch them, but I also don't. I don't really like watching trailers, so yeah. I will also say I have no fucking clue what this episode is. Zero. I didn't really hear any noise about it to the point that I didn't know that it had come out on like Christmas. I found out like 2 weeks later, in like January. It's like, oh, there was a new Doctor Who episode. I didn't know. I also don't really use Twitter anymore because fuck that site. I'm also not. I'm also dead naming that shit of that site. Fuck that site and fight the person who is running it. So I don't really have a way of just getting news to me like that. And honestly, my life has been better for it. I guess the next thing I have to say is that right as soon as I started recording, it started raining. Not ideal. If you can hear that, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to do my best during the editing, but we'll see what we can do. Last time with Doctor Who, we killed death. Silly, conceptually, fun in practice. I liked it. It was a nice finale. I like how we solved the mystery of Ruby Sunday, and the mystery of Ruby Sunday is that it was actually extremely normal. And that was fun. I like that about Ruby Sunday. We did something really cool with that. I'm a big fan of it. And then we just left her. She just decided to stay home with her family. Kind of awesome, honestly. I like a companion who's just like, I got my closure. I got my mom, my two moms. We're just gonna enjoy life together. So I don't really want to go on adventures anymore because I have my adventure right here at home. This is what I always wanted. And that's kind of nice. I like that. So that was nice of the character Ruby. I like that. Maybe we'll see her again. Maybe we won't. It's completely fine by me either way. And then we got a creepy old lady. Again, the entire season was about creepy old ladies. Plural. No clue what that is about. Let's watch this fucking episode. Patron, support the channel. Maybe if there was more support for Doctor Who, I maybe would have watched this episode a little bit sooner. Just keeping it real. But also you can watch this episode in full length. I don't know if there's anything super cool or important in this episode, but if you wanted to, it's there. And I'm gonna be watching the next season. I'll try to record it as the episodes come out, like at the same time. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to, but I'm gonna try really hard for it. So, because I just like Doctor Who. I just like Doctor Who. Like, I actually bought some Doctor Who shit in. It's actually Magic cards, but it's also Doctor Who. I bought the commander set of 4 Doctor Who decks for Magic, and they're actually like kind of like collector items that they're kind of difficult to get, especially the David Tennant one. People fucking it had a David Tennant tax, that fucking deck, because it was Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, and Matt Smith. Those were the era that everybody got hyped into Doctor Who, 2013 Tumblr era. So everybody wanted to buy that specific product. So it was the hardest to get, the most expensive to get. I bought a 4-pack because I'm crazy like that. So yeah, I like Doctor Who, you could say that. So I just want to watch this as soon as it comes out. Not this one though. Fuck this episode. I also heard, I think this episode is written by Stephen Moffat, so we're gonna get another Moffat episode. It's kind of fun, honestly. Like, there was that anti-capitalist episode that Moffat wrote for last season, which I enjoyed. And it was also fun because, like, after having watched the Moffat era, and then we just completely move away from that ever, and then suddenly he comes back for one episode, and then I'm just looking at, like, the way Ruby is saying shit, the way that this conversations are playing out, and I'm like, God, that's Stephen Moffat, all right. Like, I miss the Moffatisms. I thought that they were like maybe a little bit too much when I was watching the whole era, but now that it's been a while, I kind of miss it. I'm kind of nostalgic for it. So if this is a Stephen Moffat episode, I'm excited for it a little bit. All right, let's start with the fucking episode. Doctor Who, I don't know what the fuck season this is, man. It's Doctor Who Christmas Special 2024, Joy to the World. Let's go. I'm excited. I say as I'm watching everything burn to ashes.
It's the end of everything, you know. Democracy itself will fall.
Hi.
And she's toasting a pumpkin latte. But that door's always been locked.
Oh,
What is that door?
that's fun. The Orient Express. Is there a mummy on it? Peter Capaldi reference.
Ham and cheese toasting a pumpkin latte?
Okay, so the Doctor is just in a place where, like, it just connects to everything, maybe? When the Everest?
Never mind.
Where are you going, my man?
Do you have a room, please? Just for the week. Single. Does it show?
Room, I mean.
It's always a door like that in a hotel room, a funny locked one.
Fly.
Oh, Merry Christmas. I'm Joy. Welcome to my room. And I thought I was going to be lonely.
Little quirky. She's kind of fun.
What?
The starseed will bloom and the flesh will rise. Ham and cheese toasting a pumpkin latte.
I love an extremely nonsensical intro. Just like, some shit happened, I don't know what's happening. That girl seemed fun. Joy. Sorry. Been watching too much Buffy. Joy to the World, written by Stephen Moffat. There he is. What the fuck are we doing today? London, Christmas 4202. Whatever, man. The Time Hotel? Oh! Maybe it's a hotel where every door takes you to a different place. It's so casual. What, does he just park here sometimes?
Got an Avcom algorithm that homes in on fresh milk. I mean, I could just get a fridge.
Is somebody else in there?
We're alone right now.
Yes. Habit. Never get used to them leaving. Keep
Little
the
sad.
bigger on the inside.
What? That's fun.
So I just put my coat on. Why did I do that? What did I see? Special Agent Clint Rock. I've been sent by the head office. I've got my own toilet. What's your name?
Trev, sir.
You're working for me now, Trev.
Hi, Trev.
Like you haven't noticed anything dangerous?
No, I haven't noticed anything dangerous.
Then why aren't you strolling better?
I'm pretending to not notice something I really haven't noticed. I haven't perfected a stroll for that. He's not doing anything.
And he keeps not doing it. And again, and again.
Looks weirdly intense.
All of human history available as mini breaks.
I thought you said you were from head office. Don't you know how it works?
I like to enter investigation with my mind completely blank.
Should I make my mind blank too, sir?
It may not be necessary in your case, Trev. Instead of rooms, time portals. Yeah?
That sounds like a horrible idea. Fun, but horrible.
Mesopotamia? Oh, come on. Gotta be Pisa.
Yeah, Peter.
It's like slightly tilted.
Favorite assassination?
Oh my god. Hey, I think Eccleston was the Kennedy assassination, wasn't he?
This solves the biggest mystery in the known universe. Why is there always an extra door in your hotel room, and why is it always locked? A ham and cheese toasty and a pumpkin latte.
Ham and cheese toasty and a pumpkin latte, sir.
The kitchens are 30 minutes in the future. They start preparing your food before you order it. It saves time.
That's so fun.
Right, you are going to be my point man down here.
It's implanted, sir.
Tell me the minute Mr. Briefcase leaves the bar.
This guy is extremely helpful.
Now I am room service.
I won't let you down, sir.
I'm sure you won't.
I'm on this. This is going to be the least I've ever let anybody down.
This guy's kind of fun. I like this guy. Okay, so now we've been filled in as to what the fuck is happening during the intro.
Our seed will bloom and the flesh will rise.
Wait, this is the Silurian. So now you take his place or something? Are you a shapeshifter? Oh,
What do I do now?
it jumped to a different body.
Star seed will bloom and the flesh will rise.
It's a body snatcher. Oh no. Oh no, it's gonna take our guy. No, I like this guy. No!
Sorry.
Alright.
This isn't good, is it? I was on a mission.
Man. Like, they really just made me like this guy for like 7 minutes and then just kill him off. Okay, it's gonna jump to the Silurian and it should kill our guy here.
Access upgrading.
Man. And then we follow the Silurian. Oh, it doesn't work anymore?
Oh dear. I won't let him down.
Why are you gonna do this to me, man?
Ham and cheese toasty and a pumpkin latte. Oh, hello. Okay, you, yes. Good work. Keep him covered.
Could someone just... Why is there a lizard man in my room?
I'm so sorry. This has never happened before. Look, I'm just gonna put his towels in the bathroom.
Take it.
Access upgrading.
I do like an explanation.
I'd like an explanation too.
He's gonna take her, and then we gotta save her.
It's my room. So,
It is actually her room.
hello.
Oh, you've got that right. Who's we?
Am I even in this conversation?
Look.
No!
Am I in the way? Oh, this is just men all over, isn't it? Even lizard men.
He's a Silurian. Don't call him a lizard man.
Yeah, but it's just a mask, isn't it? Are you two having a sort of game? I know all about this. Shut up, the two of you. I'm taking the game.
Alright.
What's this on my wrist? Look at this.
Oh boy.
No dying. I'm not having that. You're a Silurian. Proudest race I know. Cling on to your story.
I was lost in the caves. They were so kind.
Those guys, they helped you. I love those guys. Stay alive for those guys.
It was so exciting.
Alright, 17 minutes until we get to see him cry. Pretty quick.
I think you are not allowed to question. You were being mansplained by a briefcase.
I thought I was being mansplained by you.
Honey, the doctor's in the room. It's mansplain central.
This feels like Stu and Moffat writing. Star Seed.
The current case holder will be disintegrated with extreme prejudice.
Why did you bring this to the Time Hotel? I feel like I'm missing some things. I don't like being rushed. There.
To complete closure of the Starseed containment unit, please enter your 4-digit security code.
Oh boy.
I could figure it out if I just had time. In this hotel, the time zones are physically connected. They're already interacting. So in theory, come in. 7214. 7214. He's the future. He's me after I get the code. Come on.
No. How does this work? How do I get to be you?
The long way round.
Oh my god.
Oh, do you see this? Is why nobody likes you. That's why everyone leaves you. That is why you were always alone.
You have to stay here. Basically,
Closest.
Do you know how alone you are?
Oh my god. Okay, what do we do? Alright. The long way around, whatever that means.
Christmas 2024, yeah? Christmas Eve 2025. Okay, so there's no way back to the Time Hotel for a whole year. Can I have that room for... Well, for a year.
A year?
Mimi, where do I get money from again? What is your name?
Anita.
Anita, do you need anything doing around here?
Oh my god. A year or here at the hotel. This is kind of fun. Again. Lots of fun things today. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I love the hotel manager lady. She's just like, I'm not getting paid enough for any of this shit. I'll just accept it and move on with my life.
Who are you not phoning? You keep looking at the phone. It's very obvious.
Ruby Sunday.
What's the problem with Ruby?
Gotta let people get on with their lives.
Yeah. You and me. Letting people get on with their lives. For old Lang Syne.
Old friends.
I love the like hotel manager lady lore.
Yes, but it seems to be bigger on the inside.
Don't worry about it.
Blockage in 28.
Is this armed?
That's so dumb. I kind of love it.
And why is my car blue now?
I like blue.
What are all these?
And collecting Doctor Who merch.
Where'd you get them?
Online, for some reason, there's loads of them.
I like them.
He's literally just buying Doctor Who merch. So, I'm thinking that there's a chair.
Have a chair.
Let's hang out. Let's connect with another human being. Let's have friends and stuff. You're both lonely people. Is the reason why the future Doctor let this version of the Doctor stay here just so he could like reconnect with humanity? Kind of like a therapy thing? What you need is to calm down for a year and just hang out. We're applying the 14 Doctor strategy here.
Cold Twister. Miss Scarlet.
Yeah, in the kitchen with the lead piping.
They're just playing board games. This is great. This is so good.
Do any other rooms here have doors like this?
They're mostly cupboards.
Except in the honeymoon suite.
You see, the connection to the Time Hotel isn't active. I can't get through.
Not a clue what he's talking about.
You guys?
I don't like it when the clocks go back. Do you?
No.
Alright, we got here. A little present for her?
Sneaking off without saying goodbye.
Just off for a few days.
I've had that one before.
Aww.
I don't usually live like this. And I always wondered what it would be like. And do you know what it was like? Amazing. And do you know why it was amazing? You.
Oh, don't.
A whole year of you. Everyone who knows you is so lucky. I bet you they tell you that all the time.
Just the once, actually. Just the one guy. I always knew you were going. I always knew that, I did. You look after yourself, okay? Never be alone at Christmas. You don't need to be, because I'll be right here. Anita, at the sanctuary. Think of me sometimes. For old lang syne.
For old lang syne.
You better come back here at the end of the episode or something. You better fucking come back here and just hang out for like a day.
Come in. 7214. 7214.
Oh my god. It's so immediate.
This is why nobody likes you. And that's why everyone leaves you, why you were always alone.
You have to stay here. I heard myself say it a year ago and I remembered it.
But I can't.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Basically, the code came from nowhere, but then so did the universe, and no one complains about that.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of you. Be kind. You'll miss her.
You even understand what you were trying to accomplish?
Yes. Darcy will play.
A star will be born, yes. Big
Okay.
Bernie Bang, in theory. No one's ever been able to test that theory because it would take too long.
Are you gonna create the sun or something?
Big old hurry, and you wanted a custom-built, made-to-measure star for your own personal energy source. Walk along the corridor to another time zone thousands of years later. Ding, ding, ding.
I see.
Oh, I just spent a year in the hotel room that you chose. So you see, a house, that's a disguise.
I love the incredibly fake smile that Joy has right now.
A hotel room? That's you without makeup. It's what you think you need. What's your mirror telling you, Joy? Because your room is the worst, loneliest, saddest hotel room in the world. What kind of person can a sad sack human train wreck puts himself in a room like that at Christmas?
When you tell people your name, do they laugh? Your mother looked into
Oh my
your
God.
squishy little baby face and named you Joy. Was it a joke, do you think? Was she having a laugh?
He's trying to break her in order to restore her.
She sounds like a riot.
She's dead. She died in hospital. I couldn't even visit. I had to talk to her on an iPad because of the rules.
Oh, the rules.
On Christmas Day, and I say goodbye on an iPad because of the rules. She died alone, and those awful people in their wine fridges, and they're dancing and their parties, and I listen to them, and I let my mother die alone. I can never be home on Christmas Day, and I can never be with anyone on Christmas Day because I let her down. I can never change that. I can never change.
Mums, eh? Even when they're gone, they never stop saving us.
Yeah, she stopped holding it.
I'm sorry. Made you angry to wake you up.
It's still fucked up to do though.
It's below the surface. Have you seen your smile? Like the lid on a boiling pot.
Thank you.
You're thinking that maybe that wasn't a good way to save your life. Let me tell you something. There's no such thing as a bad way. I'm sorry, Joy.
was beautiful. I was a star.
I am not the bad guy here, Joy. Let's meet the bad guys. Vanguard, biggest arms manufacturer.
Is this the same company?
Enemies of mine.
Vanguard is engaged in the creation of a customizable energy source.
A star seed goes boom any point in history. It will burn every living thing. But human history is only a few thousand years long. You're gonna need a lot longer than that.
He's gonna take over the dinosaur? That would be fucking funny. Oh, yes.
That speech was going really well.
Hello, sir. Trev Simpkins reporting for duty.
Trev! I don't know why you're here, but he's gonna save us all.
My consciousness has been uploaded to the Vanguard communication interface.
You're inside the star.
Yes, sir.
Inside the star, inside the briefcase, inside the dinosaur.
The psychic graft has been duplicated virtually. I was able to connect it to the briefcase communication software.
That was very clever.
Well, I've had several million years to work it out. As I told you a very long time ago, I will not let you down, sir. We're in room 48.
Yes, that helps quite a lot, Trev. Thank you.
4.5 minutes, sir.
Oh!
What are you gonna do? What's the plan? How do you use a star?
Throw it into space using a phone box. Oh, I need rope. I saw rope. Where did I see rope?
Oh my god. This is where he saw rope.
What are you doing? Why are you taking that equipment?
I need it.
Because it was there.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
What are you taking from her? Oh, you're gonna use the train to pull? Yes. This is insane. Kinda like that. It's crazy to think he did this within like 4 minutes. That's insane.
Don't worry. I'm going to be fine.
You are better off without him. His sentence structure is appalling.
I wrote this letter
Great letter. You should send it to him.
to her.
Glad I could help.
The world's about to end, man.
Joy!
She was talking to it. Do you eat it? Do you become the star?
I was hoping you'd come back to say goodbye. You're very lovely, you know.
The star seed.
It's in me now. It's in all of us.
Mission complete, sir.
We'll be far from here, deep in the sky. I think I'm saving the world.
Joy, I am supposed to be saving you. You will die.
Be silly. Of course I won't. I'm not dying. I'm changing. I will shine. Everywhere and forever. And sometimes. And you. My hotel room. All those things you said about me.
Joy,
Everything you said was true.
Yeah. But it's also true about you.
Doctor,
Yeah.
you stayed in that room for a year.
Mm-hmm. You also chose that room, my
It's
god.
not so bad.
You need to find a friend. Go and find one now.
She's a star now.
My mom was right, wasn't she? I'm Joy, and I'm gonna see her again, and she's gonna be with me.
There's hope, you know. There's still hope.
Everybody sees her.
It's in the stars.
Ruby. Little Ruby cameo. Please. Yes. Please go hang out with her.
You come highly recommended
Oh, they're gonna hire her.
by an old friend of yours, I believe.
It's herself. It's herself in the future.
As soon as this nonsense is over, be right in there. You be brave.
This is depressing because of how real this is. I see the star in the window, yeah. Does the star take her? Oh, she knows somehow. This is so sci-fi bullshit that I don't know how to feel about it, but I suppose we should feel happy. Oh, what are we looking at?
Oh, of course. Joy.
Joy to the world!
Okay. Doctor Who will return. Hi. Okay. So we just watched this Christmas special of Doctor Who. So yes, Joy becomes the star of Bethlehem. And I guess in some way ends up creating. I mean, it's at the very beginning on I guess the origin of Christmas, which is Jesus Christ's birth. So in that sense, it connects to that. I'm not sure if I really feel any kind of significance in there other than a religious connection, but I am also someone who's not very necessarily religious person, and not Christianity. So it's not like I am someone who necessarily feels anything like that where I would pop off. Maybe other people would, and I think that that's cool. I personally wouldn't. There was this through line through the entire episode, and there was an entire segment here that I really enjoyed actually. Minute like 20 to minute like 30. Yes, so it's like 10 minutes of this episode were dedicated to the doctor kind of staying and enjoying like a normal life and experiencing normal, genuine human connection with another person that is just there, and experiencing that for like a whole year. And that was honestly my favorite part of this episode, conceptually and also in execution. I love that we essentially applied kind of the 14 Doctor, second David Tennant. We gotta force this guy to just sit down and just have therapy, and by therapy I mean just enjoy life with a friend for a while, instead of just running away constantly. Just keep continuing to move forward because we never dare to look back. Like that's something that Davros said at one point, but like it's true, and that's kind of part of the character of the Doctor. And I like that the future version of the 15th Doctor did that, and he was so grim when he did it, but I also feel like on some level, like he also understood that this is something that did him good. It's not just continuing the loop, the causal loop, but also the fact that he's like, this is a good thing to do, actually. It weirdly felt like looking at it in hindsight after the episode is over, like I'm thinking about it and I'm like, it felt like that didn't really matter to the episode in the sense of, the plot of it. Because like as soon as that sequence, that 10-minute sequence is over, we just keep moving. So it felt like an artificial extension of the plot just to drag on time. However, that was also the best part of the episode, because I feel like we really focus on like the kind of the point, I guess, which is in the beauty of life, which I guess also maybe connects a little bit to all of the random people we found when the Doctor was pretending to be room service, and then we later used them as a way to solve the problem. We went to the Orient Express. I used to train, and there was that lady there who was writing a letter to her lesbian crush. There were the old people in the middle of World War II. Then there were also the people I think at Mount Everest. Like we had all of these different people who are part of the world, which I guess is something what the episode is going for, hence the title Joy to the World. If we had to take it from a literal sense instead of referential, maybe it's the idea that, because we also then get to see how everybody is looking to the star, and Joy ends up becoming kind of symbolical to all of humanity. It's not just the fact that we save the planet or whatever, because maybe the Doctor could have done that even if she hadn't done that. Maybe we would have run out of time, but he would have tried. But she just decided to take it upon herself in order to do it, and in doing so, she also becomes a symbol for all of human history. Not just in a religious sense, definitely in a religious sense because it's the way the episode ends, but also we get to see how all of humanity, all over the world, are all just looking at the star, and the star represents so many things. So much of life and history can be affected by something like that, something that everybody can just see and feel something towards. I think that that's something that's honestly kind of beautiful, and I like that what the core of the episode ends up becoming is all of this humanity, all of human history, and how that sequence where the Doctor stays in the hotel for a year, the way that connects is that he's experiencing, I forgot her name, Anita? Was she Anita Ben? The hotel manager, Anita, like, I think she was wonderful. I immediately, like, even before she became important, I was like, I love her because, like, a random Silurian and this guy just show up out of nowhere, and she's like, I'm not being paid enough for this shit, man. Like, I don't care. She just started doing the normal shit and left. But the idea that maybe the doctor stood behind just to experience a year with her, just so he could, like, witness human life and be a part of human life, because the doctor is very alien. He's very alien. As much as he looks human and as much as he has respect and empathy for humanity, he doesn't understand the human experience, which is stay, have a place where you live, hang out with the same people every day, go to work, do things, like all of these like extremely normal human things to do. He's like, I don't want to deal with that shit. I hate waiting. I'm just gonna invite you to come over with me, and then we're just gonna go on an adventure. We're gonna go and do different shit every day. Some weird, wacky alien, whatever. Okay. That's not really the human experience. That is like the human fantasy of what, you know, a lot of people want to do, hence why the show exists, is the idea that we want to experience this fantasy just by looking at it, going on these adventures alongside the Doctor. What that sequence maybe represents is the Doctor being pulled into the human experience of, you got to stay here, you have a room, you have like a normal place where you stay consistently. You don't really leave, you have to like work, and then you get to experience what it's like to just hang out with Anita. And at first they like converse and are kind of friendly, but eventually he's like, I have a second seat. Why don't you sit down? Let's talk. Let's hang out. And then we get to see like this like montage where they're playing like Twister, they're playing like, I don't know, Clue, they're playing all these weird board games and talking about random shit. At one point he's like, is there another like door like this one? Is like, oh yeah, in the marital suite or the marital bedroom or whatever. And then it just cuts to them being there, and it's just the Doctor investigating and saying some random shit, and Anita's just kind of sitting there while the couple is in bed, and Anita is just like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck he's saying. And it's like she entertains him and doesn't ask any questions. She's like totally down for whatever, and I love that. I love that the character of Anita. I feel so bad if her name is not Anita and I'm confusing her with someone else. I suppose I could just look this up. Right, this is the latest episode of the show right now, so yeah, it's Anita. Okay. She was so fun. She was great, and I had a blast just experiencing the Doctor and Anita just kind of hang out. And I felt honestly emotional when the Doctor had to leave, and I felt upset that he didn't come back for her. He gave her a new job, I guess. And I'm not sure if the future version of herself delivered the recommendation letter to herself. I don't know what that was about, but it's like, okay, he put in a good word for her so that she could get access to the Time Hotel. And maybe at the Time Hotel, she could just hang out and experience the wonders of like what the future is like, being able to travel to other times. It's like, oh, all of these new experiences that he is providing her. But it would be nice if you could just hang out with her, because that's kind of the point, I think. And that's what that was my favorite part of the entire episode, is because like I feel like the Doctor did that to himself, not necessarily to maintain the loop, but also to just like, hey man, you gotta experience this. Like, this is important, because if you just keep traveling and like, yeah, sure, you get random people to come with you, that's not the same. You need to actually experience what it's like to just stay still and hang out with someone you like, and you know, like, or rather make friends with someone and experience what they are in all of their humanity. And also you are kind of becoming more human by experiencing that. I think that's wonderful. Like, it's been a long time since the third Doctor, which is the third Doctor was the one that stayed on Earth and he got a job at UNIT and whatever. That was still like not normal human shit, but you know, he stayed and hung out with people every day and he had a job. So I guess on some level that is the closest. I think Matt Smith had a moment where he stayed like with James Corden or whatever. And also Matt Smith stayed in Trenzalore before he died, but he was protecting it, so it's not like he was kind of at war. This is not the same. So I think, and then it's the 14th Doctor, but that's not 15, right? So maybe what we're saying is the 15th Doctor also needed to go through that, right? Like, those experiences that the second, like, other David Tennant had are not the same as this one. I don't know. It's fun, though. It's fun, and I really enjoyed that segment, and it was my favorite segment of the entire episode. There were some moments in this episode where I was like, "Oh, this is Stephen Moffat writing, all right." Like, it really felt very Moffat to me. Like, I've watched this man's work. I am familiar with it. My favorite era of the show is the 12 Doctors era of the show. There's also some moments during the 12th Doctor era of the show where I'm just sitting here like, "Come on, man." And even more so during the 11 Doctors era. And I feel like in this episode, I see that it's written by Moffat, and I go like, okay, I will be paying attention to whenever Moffat just pops his head out and just reveals himself. And I see it. Like, there was this moment where the Doctor and the Silurian, who has been taken over, they are confronting each other, and Joy feels ignored. Like, she's just not a part of this confrontation. But she feels like, okay, these guys came into my room and it's my room, and it's like, okay, I'm sorry, you need to tell me what you're doing here. And then she keeps trying to force herself into the conversation, but then she just swerves right into, oh, this is men being men. That feels very Stephen Moffat to me, because it's like bringing gender or traditional gender roles into the conversation when it's not really a point to do so. It's just very out of nowhere. And then the very Moffat nail in the coffin is, I'm being mansplained now. And then the Doctor twists that into a joke, and it's like, I'm the Doctor, I mansplain everything. Except, I guess, if you're Jodie Whittaker, because in that instance, I guess it doesn't really make much sense. But still, like, it's this, like, weird bringing attention to traditional gender roles when there's no reason for that to be here. But now that is the topic of conversation. And we're also going to use some term that I heard on Twitter within the previous, like, maybe 5 years that young people are using. And I'm going to make that into a joke. And it feels very Moffat to me that is what we're doing here. Moffat has all of these things where he randomly brings some kind of term or phrase that feels like he heard it in fandom. And when he uses it, it comes from a place of, I'm not entirely sure if he wants to use it or he is making fun of the people that use it. It's kind of unclear. And also we have to, like, randomly reinstate traditional gender roles into a conversation that didn't need it. And it's like, okay, sure. Like, it's not awful. It's just, like, weird. And it's very Moffat to me whenever I see it. Because, like, Moffat's writing, that was one of the main issues that I have with Moffat's writing, especially during the 11 Doctors era, and I feel like it got a lot better during the 12 Doctors era, but every now and then it will, like, poke its head out, and you would be able to see it and be like, oh, that's a Moffat thing. When he's, like, weirdly, like, dividing a line between men and women in a way that doesn't need to be there. It's just randomly mentioned and brought forward for some reason. But, like, the way I feel about Moffat is always interesting because, like, Moffat is someone who a lot of the times I look at what he wrote or he does and I go like, maybe I wouldn't have done that. But then I go like, I don't think he has ill intentions into anything he writes. I just think, like, it's this like, it's this thing of, like, this clearly, like, old guy trying his best with whatever he's got, but, like, it doesn't necessarily have this, like, full breadth of understanding or rather finesse to handle any topics, but he just brings it forward because to him is fun. Like, that's kind of how I feel about whatever the fuck Moffat writes. There was, like, an interview that I read not super long ago, like maybe last year or something, where somebody asked Moffat about transgender people, and Moffat was like, you gotta respect them and their pronouns. Like, you gotta just respect what they do. Because, like, it's not my fucking business. It's not none of your fucking business. They can do whatever they want with themselves. And it's like, it's just common courtesy, isn't it? Like, that's something he said. And it's this thing where, like, yeah, he's spitting. But then also, he is the one that really reinstates gender norms, like, a lot of the time in his writing. And I'm just sitting here, like, it feels like kind of like the Will Smith, like, Bel Air meme, where it's just like, he got the spirit. He's a little confused, but he got the spirit. Like, that's how I feel about a lot of what the fuck Moffat does. And that's how I felt during the, like, mansplain joke, where it's just like, I think he just heard that on Twitter and he was, like, vaguely offended by it, but also he just kind of, like, dismissed it as something that maybe doesn't matter a lot. And then he thought about it and he was like, I guess men are kind of bullshit. And then he just turned that into a fragment of the episode, and because it just fully comes in out of nowhere and then goes away, I'm like, that is a Moffat ass dialogue sequence if I've ever seen one. And to me, it's almost like funny because at this point, I see it and I go like, that's Moffat. That's the guy that I know. Okay, let's talk about the character of Joy here. It felt odd. I feel like maybe I have to rewatch that scene, but it felt odd to me whenever the doctor was he was being super mean to her and making fun of her for being a failure, being lonely, sad, and kind of making fun of her mother's death to COVID. That was weird and fucked up for the doctor, but also for Joy, for both of them, honestly. And the reason why is because I feel like the 15th Doctor would never do that unless he heavily apologized for it afterwards. And it also felt odd for Joy to, first of all, take it. She took it and she got angry and then, they started arguing. But then she just breaks on crying in his arms. And then she's cool with him for the rest of the... Like, you met this man like maybe 20 minutes ago. There were 2 of them at some point. Don't worry about it. But like, yeah, you met this man very recently. And now he's calling you bullshit and all your life is sad and depressing and kind of makes fun of it, the way he was acting. And now you're cool with him. And like, I understand that there is a rational moment of Joy realizing that, like, rationally what he was doing is that he was freeing me from the briefcase. I understand that logically that makes sense, but I feel like emotionally you would need like some kind of like big apology in order to just move on with what he did. He says, sorry, but I had to anyway, let's keep moving along with the plot. And it felt to me like, first of all, the 15th Doctor would have to... I feel like other doctors, like Peter Capaldi in Series 8, like the 12th Doctor, I feel like he wouldn't have apologized. He wouldn't have known to do it or known how to do it, but he would have maybe tried doing Series 9 or 10. But Series 8, 12th Doctor wouldn't have apologized. He would have been like, sorry, anyway, focus on the task. Like, that sounds very 12th Doctor to me. I feel like the 15th Doctor is too empathetic in order to just let that pass. I feel like he would have kneeled in front of her. He would have like grabbed her by the shoulders and be like, I'm sorry. I'm very, very deeply sorry. I shouldn't say any of those things. And I'm sorry that I had to, but I really, really had to. Because look at your wrist. You're okay now. It's okay. I'm sorry. Like something like that, I feel like maybe would have made more sense for that character. So the fact that he didn't act that way after saying all of those horrible things, I guess maybe partially the fact why it feels so off is because it's like her mom died of COVID in like 2020, and like that's too real. Like maybe that's part of the problem. It's too real. Like maybe if it was something more fantasy, more sci-fi, like it wouldn't feel so real. But because it's like someone dying in the hospital of COVID and feeling bad because you couldn't see them, like that's too real for comfort. And I feel like after making light of it, you would need to deeply apologize for it, especially the 15th Doctor. Otherwise, I start to kind of lose a little bit of respect here. That's kind of how I feel like. So that entire sequence where the 15th Doctor says that, and then Joy completely rolls with it, and she's just like, okay, anyway, I'll keep hanging out with you. I think that at some point she said something like, I like you or something like that. And it's like, you met this man like half an hour ago, and for like 5 minutes, he just actively made fun of your entire life and insulted you and your family, your dead mother. It's like, I don't think you just move on past that unless there is some heavy apologizing in the middle, and that didn't happen. I guess an argument as to why that could be is you can say that maybe Joy is, first of all, very rational in order to just turn down her emotions and just say like, okay, that was the right thing to do. And second, a little bit desperate about hanging out with someone, because she's lonely. Like, that's part of her character. She's lonely, and maybe she's so lonely that she's willing to just kind of look past that and realize that like this is someone that kind of cares. He maybe is a little cold and maybe he said some bad things, but like he genuinely cares and he's trying to do something and he actually wants me around. So maybe I'll hang out with him just because I like feeling like I'm being wanted. So maybe on some level, a little bit of that is the reason why she stuck around. It still feels weird to me. It still really feels weird to me how quickly we moved on past that level of transgression, because that level of transgression to me feels like too much. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. That's just how I feel. Maybe other people didn't feel that way, but I did. I mean, and she admits that what he said is true. So maybe on some level she was thanking him for like bringing that forward so she can like accept it. But because maybe that's what she needed. It was like a hardcore therapy session that she didn't ask for. But usually people don't respond well. Usually people don't respond well to that. Usually people are very combative over it. And then her mom died, and then she got absorbed by the star. Don't ask me about that, man. That's like this episode does get into like weird sci-fi bullshit. I mean, this is Doctor Who. That's like the entire show, but it does get into like weird sci-fi bullshit explaining, and things are happening, and I'm just sitting here like, yeah, man. I guess I don't know what to tell you. I guess it's kind of cool. I guess I'm happy for them. I'm happy that that guy, I forgot his name, but the guy at the very beginning, fuck, like that guy the Doctor talks to, that then becomes his like personal assistant. Like he was really nice, really cool, very quirky. Trev, that's his name. I just checked it out. That guy was fun and quirky, and I guess this is also like a Moffatism where like you introduce this guy who's just really nice, and then he just like dies, and then you feel like shit. Like I feel like he did that also in Boom, the episode that he just wrote for the previous season. I feel like he did that, didn't he? There was this guy that had a crush on like the female soldier, and then he just like dies tragically, and that guy was just trying his best, like something like that. I don't remember, but I feel like this is something he does. And then he uploads his consciousness and actually manages to help us out even after he's dead. Didn't that also happen in Boom? Isn't he doing the same trick twice in a row here? I think that also happened in Boom, now that I'm thinking about it. I feel like that is something that also happened in Boom. Sorry, it's been a long since I watched Boom, but I feel like that was also a thing there. Okay, Joy becomes the origin of Christianity a little bit. I do think it's a fun ending, a little bit too mythological, and not something that I necessarily have much connection with, but it's kind of fun. I'm not against it. I do think I don't know if it's a happy ending, but it's a poetic ending for Joy to just forsake her entire life in exchange of becoming something greater, because that's what she wanted. Like Joy, we don't get to see much of Joy. She's only been here for one episode, and even then we spent a significant portion of the episode without her. So it feels weird, but it feels like Joy is someone that is so lonely and so desperate to be a part of something that she gets tangled in this situation, and she decides of her own volition to do this thing so that she can become part of all of humanity, of literally Joy. She lives up to her name. Even though she is a lonely, sad person with a lot of problems and issues, she ends up deciding, this is what I want to be, because this is like my dream is to be able to be a part of other people. And then she literally gets that wish made true of her own volition. She decides, I'm going to be the star that shines brightly for everybody. And I will do that for the rest of human history. And there's something really poetically beautiful about that. However, it kind of weirdly dehumanizes her and turns her into an icon, literally. And I feel like I almost kind of want to know more about her life in order for her to just throw it all away and decide to become this. But I guess we get enough information about her life to just assume that it's so sad and awful that she doesn't want to have it. She doesn't want to have anything. She would rather just be this, and it's her choice. So, sure, go off, queen. It's beautiful, and it is very poetic. That's something I did like. But like, I kind of wanted to know more about her as a person. I guess that's the only thing for me. I think this episode has a lot of like really fun concepts. Like, again, if we're gonna talk about Moffat, and I've said this like many times before, but I feel like Stephen Moffat has maybe some of the best concepts when it comes to like writing like fun ideas into a storyline, and maybe some of the most weird, maybe blunders in execution when it comes to executing a lot of those concepts. Sometimes they are the best things ever put in television. Heaven Sent It's the best episode of the entire fucking show. I will die on that hill. And it was voted the best episode in the entire show in like Doctor Who magazine a couple years ago. So like, hey, it's I'm not alone in this one. But like at the same time, a lot of it I feel like falls apart when it comes to the characters themselves. Which is like, again, I felt weird about Joy. There was this entire sequence with the 15th Doctor where it felt weird to me what he was saying and the way he acted. But then there's also really beautiful moments like when he's with the dying Silurian. I really like that, what he was saying, the way that they were acting. I think Shurigawa is so good at crying. He's so good at crying. Like, maybe people will make fun of him for just crying so much. I'm down for it, man. Show that emotion. Hell yeah. It's so good. He's just such a beautiful man just crying all day long. And it's just like, yeah, man, show me emotion. It feels good. I would have loved if the Doctor went back to see Anita. Just to spend the night with Anita and then they leave. There's no reason for him not to do that. It's like, oh, he got Anita a promotion at the Time Hotel. That's nice. But that's kind of not the point of the episode. The point of the episode is for, spending time together. The world itself connecting with one another. Like Joy becomes this icon for everybody to feel some kind of comfort underneath it. Maybe we can say that the Doctor is iconic to Anita on some level, but it's like, you guys were friends. It would be nice if you hung out a little bit. Those are probably the only things about the episode that I probably maybe would change. And that entire interaction with the Doctor and Joy. Like, I would have the Doctor just apologize a lot more. I don't think he apologized enough after the shit that he said. It also felt weird because it felt like he was shifting the blame a little because he was like, I'm not the bad guy. Let's go meet the bad guys. And then it's like, it's capitalism are the bad guys. And it's like, yeah, so true, bestie. But also, you could have been nicer to this woman. So that's, that's me. That's how I feel about this episode, maybe. It was fun. I think there's so many fun concepts. I really like the way this episode was directed. I love, capital L, love the entire sequence where the Doctor stays behind at the hotel and spends a whole year just living at the hotel, working there and becoming friends with Anita. I think that was some of the most, like, this is the shit that I'm saying, man. Like, this is like one of my favorite things I've seen in the show in a long time. That 10-minute sequence of the Doctor just interacting. Like, it reminded me of like in the finale for previous season, after the world was dying and getting destroyed into nothingness, like the Doctor ran into someone, this random woman who didn't have anything, and he was like, I need metal, and she gave him like a spoon or something. And she was talking about her baby, and then it's like, my baby's gone, and then she's like, I don't remember his name, I don't remember she had forgotten everything, and she was following soon. And it was like a heart-wrenching scene that really was not necessary to that episode, but it was also the best scene in that episode. I think it was my favorite. Just because of the emotion of it, and we get to experience like a small human life. That's something I think I said during that episode reaction. And it felt that way here too with the sequence with the Doctor and Anita. It felt the exact same way, where we lower the scope, we diminish the scope, in order to just experience something that is so much smaller. And in doing so, we get to experience how important it is. And that's beautiful. It's fucking incredible. And that's my favorite part of this episode. Which is why there were later like 3 different moments where I was like, I don't know if the level of quality of this conversation is to the par of what we saw earlier with Anita. Like I love that so much, and then it hit me with hard whiplash when the Doctor is just kind of being mean to Joy and then doesn't really apologize very much, and we just move forward with the plot. He did have like a really good line that he said. What was it? You're thinking that maybe that wasn't a good way to save your life? Let me tell you something. There's no such thing as a bad way. That's a good line. Like, that's good. It's the idea that, like, nothing is stupid if it saves your life. Like, because like, let's say you encounter into someone who's maybe suicidal or someone who wants to give up, and it's this thing of like, if you find joy in something so incredibly silly, stupid, dumb, maybe you had a good time playing a video game, maybe you watch a fun movie, maybe you enjoyed a Pepsi, whatever it is, if that brings you joy, And that kind of takes you down from that mindset, from that mind space, and you start to feel like, okay, I'm okay now. That's not stupid. There's no such thing as a stupid thing that just takes you out of that. So I like that line. I think it was a beautiful line. It felt like a clever line when in the moment what we needed was like a little bit more empathy. And I guess that maybe is a microcosm of the main issue that Stephen Moffat has in his writing sometimes. That's how I feel. And I don't mean to dismiss this episode or say that it was bad in any way. I don't think so. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. But it's this thing where like sometimes I'm watching an episode and I go like, damn, that is the good shit. And then 10 minutes later I go like, damn, that is not the good shit. And that's how I felt with this episode at moments. That's what I meant when I said this episode felt so Moffat to me. Because I can see the strong points and I can see the weak points, and it's like, yeah, that's that guy. I know him. Okay, that was Joy to the World. I don't know if I can say anything more than that. I don't think I have much of a context or knowledge in order to talk about religion or Christianity in any way. I don't think that's me. You can maybe go watch a different reactor for that. That's not my thing. I'm just gonna let that go. And I'm just going to move forward into next season, which should be dropping next month. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, that's going to be it for this reaction episode of Doctor Who. I thought about maybe watching trailers. I decided not to do that. I don't like watching trailers. I don't want to know anything. I want to go in as blind as possible. So that's what I'm going to be doing with next season. Okay? Thank you so much for tuning in. See you guys next time. Bye. Hi. Hello. An extra audio I want to record here, so if you can hear some birds or something, it's like 7 a.m. But I was just editing this video, and I was, there's a couple of things I want to add. Maybe I was in a different mindset when I was watching the episode for the first time. Or maybe right now I'm in a different mindset and my mood is different, but I felt rewatching this episode while I was editing it didn't, like, I felt less disturbed by some of the scenes than I did originally the first time I watched it. Like, I didn't feel like, for example, the doctor's apology was as bad as I felt the first time. Like, it wasn't as jarring to me as it was the first time. So maybe it's just something about my mood, but also maybe it's because I noticed something that I think gave me a different reading on the character of Joy. And I don't know if this is intentional, but this is what I saw, and I just want to point it out because it's maybe kind of a headcanon of sorts, but I like it, and I want to mention it, which is there's this one scene where the doctor apologizes to Joy, and then the doctor says that, he had to bring forth her emotions in order to break free from it. And Joy asks, did it have to be anger though? And then the doctor says, yes, because he points out, like, have you seen your smile? Like, your expression, it was like a boiling pot. He could see through her mask. He could see how fake she was being. And then Joy just responds, thank you. And the first time I watched that, I felt like she was thanking him for saving her, which it might be the case. I don't know, but that's what my original reading was. But when I was rewatching it during the editing, I felt like, knowing what little I know of the character of Joy, and a lot of this is assumption, but I felt like Joy is someone who she wants kind of to be a star, honestly. She's lonely, and because she is lonely, she wants to be a part of something, or she wants to be a part of other people, because she is lonely and there's a lot of baggage that she's carrying, and it would be nice if she could not be sad and alone. And that's kind of part of her character, I think. So if we are going to roll with that, if we're going to accept that as true, then I think that maybe what Joy says in that moment when she says thank you, she's not saying thank you because he saved her. Maybe she's saying thank you because the doctor just pointed out something that was just true about her, which means that he was actually paying attention to her. He was noticing her. He was looking at her and seeing her for what she was. And if she is as alone as the show tells me she is, then maybe in that moment she's actually very thankful to him. He looked at her and he saw her for what she was. And that is the opposite of being alone. That is actually someone that kind of breaks into your house and just looks at you and points out all of your problems. And like, maybe, yeah, that's rude, but. And it's like, yeah, that was rude, but it not only did save her, but I think it also did her a lot of good in the sense that, well, first of all, it was kind of like a therapy, which is what I mentioned in the discussion, but I think also maybe she just wanted to be seen. And the doctor actually gave her that. He saw her for her, like, most real self that she's trying to hide away from everyone else. And the doctor just saw that and pulled it out. And that is, again, that is very rude to do. But at the same time, hey, that is someone that actually paid so much attention to you that they managed to pull that shit out of you, that thing that you don't want anyone else to see, or rather maybe you do want them to see it, but you don't want to be an inconvenience, you know. And that is also part of the character of Joy that we saw, is that she's trying really hard to not be an inconvenience to people. You know, she keeps apologizing, she keeps following the rules or whatever, and it's like, yeah, no, the doctor managed to pull that shit out. And maybe that's exactly what she needed. And in that moment when she says thank you, maybe that's what she meant. It wasn't thank you for saving my life because of the handcuff or whatever. It was actually thank you for seeing me. And that actually, I think, if we're gonna roll with that, that makes the episode make a lot more sense. In that Joy ends up liking the doctor a lot more because he actually provided her with something that she actually very much wanted and needed. So maybe that's why she's so cool with him after that moment, even though I feel like realistically she shouldn't be. Like, that would be too much of an emotional, like, devastation, how rude he was to her. But at the same time, I think that he did, I felt like his apology wasn't good enough, but I rewatched it and I think it actually wasn't that bad. I think it's fine. But I do think that maybe the fact that because it's her mom dying of COVID at the hospital, like, that's also like brings an extra layer of something that is difficult to process on like a meta level for the audience, because like that's too real. That's too many real people that suffered in that exact same manner, and it was not long ago. And like, I don't know, man, like maybe how real that is for us because it was so recent, like maybe that's also part of the reason why it felt like so wrong that the doctor was just kind of making light of it. um so maybe that's why. Maybe it's not an extra layer of something that felt that would be so much beyond what the doctor would do, but maybe it's something more that like the audience perception and like the modern current audience perception is the one that is gonna have a harder time accepting that. Because like maybe you watch this episode like 20 years from now, like this wouldn't, that particular aspect of the character wouldn't hit as hard as it does right now. And that's also maybe something that you would be easier, quicker to forget the doctor for. But because of how wrong it feels, like for me, I had an issue with it. But again, I think I was being too harsh on it. Maybe, maybe it's fine. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I think that moment of recontextualization of the character of Joy that I had, and that's kind of a headcanon, honestly. Like, I'm not gonna say that that's actually the character if you see her in a different light, but this is the way I see her now. That she's thanking him for actually paying attention to her and seeing her for what she is, while she's trying to hide. I really like that, and actually, I think that explains Joy a lot more. If you see her in that light, than if you don't. So yeah, that's it. God damn it, I just added an extra 10 minutes of editing I have to do because of this audio. It is 7:30 in the morning. I want to go to bed. But okay, let's edit this fucking video. Alright, thank you so much for tuning in. By the way, it's like well into April now. So the next season is happening, I think, like next week. So Hooray! I need to post this video. Alright, bye. See you guys next time. And alright everyone, thank you so much for tuning into this reaction episode of Doctor Who. If you would like to watch full reactions for this and, you know, be there for that whenever the next season comes in and I'm starting to watch all of those episodes, you can support me on Patreon, support the channel, have some fun there. See you guys next time. Bye bye, take care.